Hello, and welcome to our presentation on the Container Store. We are Team Ironman, and we will be walking you through today the story of the Container Store. While Tony Stark used Stark Industries to help build his various weapons and technologically advanced devices for him to survive and save the world, Team Iron Man has created TCS Industries to help show how the Container Store is at a pivotal point in its existence. After Tony Stark was kidnapped, it resulted in him having a heart with metal, and his Iron Man suit and ingenious engineering were what helped him to stay alive. The Container Store faces a similar future. While they don't have metal in their heart, they're facing many villains when it comes to financials and will need to use their heart made of metal to get out and see the other side. Ultimately, anything is possible with a heart made of metal. Let's meet the team of TCS Industries that will be taking us through the various aspects of the Container Store. I will be walking us through a little background on the heart and creation of the Container Store. Lee will be talking to us about the value prop and positioning stance that the Container Store currently has. Tara will be walking us through who is important and the key players along with the financials. Then Nikki will be closing us out on what the competitive landscape and the future holds for the Container Store. You may be asking yourself, who is the Container Store? They consider themselves the leading specialty retailer of storage and organization products in the US and the only retailer devoted to this category. As someone who likes to have a place for everything, the Container Store is a fun shopping experience. You walk in and you see all the different aisles that are devoted to 16 lifestyle departments. From closet to kitchen to desk organization, there's storage option that can work for you. Need help building a closet, shelving for your new pantry? They can also help you with that. All of the various SKUs and product categories may be overwhelming for some people, though, and this might be partly to blame for the position the Container Store is currently in. You may also be asking yourself, how is it possible for such a store of this nature to exist? Well, back in 1978, in Dallas, Texas, Kip Tyndall, Garrett Boone, and John Mullen opened a small 1,600 square foot store that was carrying a variety of products geared to help people organize and simplify their lives. This one store has grown to 86 stores, averaging 25,000 square feet in 28 states across the country. They have two operating segments, the Container Store and Alpha, their custom closet division. While the leadership has changed, the core value of the Container Store hasn't. The people and the morals haven't changed since the beginning, and Lee will be getting into more detail on those. In 2013 into early 2014, the Container Store went public, trading on the New York Stock Exchange as TCS. With an opening price of just under $40, it is now averaging right around $4 per share. Despite the downhill trend on stock prices, the Container Store has managed to see net sales increase and their inventory turnover stay relatively stable. Tara will be talking and walking us through in more depth some of these numbers and the battles the Container Store faces ahead. They'll need to utilize some of the Tony Stark ingenuity and heart to help them get through and see the other side. I'll now turn it over to my partner Lee to talk us through the value prop and mission for TCS.
Thank you, Mac. Let's start looking into what kind of values and mission TCS has. Heart-driven value proposition is to offer creative, multifunctional, customizable storage and organization solutions that help customers save time, save space, and improve the quality of their lives. TCS has 86 locations in 28 states, about 5,000 employees. It sells 271 kinds of containers for storing food, 77 different hangers, and 57 items to manage power cords. Next slide. How TCS is heart-driven is reflected in its long-standing corporate culture. TCS believes in what it can do to drive everyone involved in its business, starting from putting its employees first. TCS values and actively seeks for ways to satisfy its customers, vendors, the community, and its shareholders. First of all, its employee-first culture is proven by 1,600 full-time store employees. They receive 263 hours of training in their first year, earn an average of $48,000 a year. This is twice the typical retail salary. Its executives are also nicely compensated. The annual turnover rate among store employees is 10%, very low for retail. Next page. TCS's 7 guiding principles amplifies how customers intimate and having a higher purpose. As much as TCS invests in its employees, it expects the best out of them to serve its customers and care for vendor relationships. Not only the employees, but TCS had succeeded in building loyalty among its vendors, that 17 out of 20 vendors are staying more than 10 years with TCS. They provide benefits to TCS as increased number of exclusive products, competitive pricing, and favorable payment terms. TCS estimates over half of its net sales is from exclusive merchandise. Next page. TCS's the business model of TCS is based on conscious capitalism that focuses on conducting business without any trade-offs. Pay employees well and treat them with respect. Consider suppliers and customers as family and have fun. Next. The virtuous cycle of conscious capitalism is practiced by a number of successful companies such as Zappos.com, Costco, Starbucks, and Southwest Airlines. They all believe that it is not just right thing to do, but it's also profitable thing to do. Now I'll turn it over to Tara for TCS's leadership and financial information.
In discussing the leadership of the Container Store, the first stop we want to make is with the management team. This is a very interesting time for the Container Store in terms of management, given that in July of last year, the Container Store's founder and previous CEO, William Kip Tindall, stepped down and was replaced by new management after more than 30 years at the company's helm. The transition was a long time in the works and is even mentioned in the prior year's annual report. Here's a quick list of the Container Store's key managers. As you can see, the change in CEO brought on a shuffle of many of the top managers, with 4 of 8 taking new positions. Replacing Kip Tindall as CEO is Melissa Reif. She joined the Container Store in 1995 as Vice President of Sales and Marketing. Since then, she's held a variety of roles, including COO. Top leadership at the Container Store confirmed that Mr. Tindall had been grooming Ms. Reif for the CEO position for some time. She is valued at the company for her involvement in employee development and training, as well as customer relations. This background and company experience align closely with the company's long-term values, making it clear why she was such an obvious choice to take over as CEO. Sometimes the departure of a longtime leader from a company can signal a culture shift or break from prior values towards a new company vision. We do not think that this is the case for the Container Store. Melissa Reif, the new CEO, has been with the company 22 years. Sharon Tindall, the new Chief Merchandising Officer and company president, has been with the company 37 years. She is, in addition, the wife of former CEO Kip Tindall. The couple were married 1 year after the Container Store was founded, and she has always had an active role in shaping its culture. Several other important management figures have been with the Container Store exceeding 15 years. All this to say, in spite of a turnover in leadership, we expect that the Container Store will retain its heart principles, emphases on employee development, and overall company mission. Another important note about TCS's management team is that it is dominated by women. Of 8 key managers, 6 are women, including both the CEO and president. CEO Melissa Reif is a member of the International Women's Foundation and C200, an organization fostering opportunities for women entrepreneurs and corporate leaders. Sharon Tindall was the first woman ever to be inducted into the Retail Hall of Fame. This composition of management is unusual and supports the Container Store's unrelenting commitment to employee development and equality, and is as well consistent with the company's core customer base. There are 11 members on the Container Store's board of directors. 6 members have sat on the board since 2007. Of those, 3, prior CEO Kip Tindall, current President and Chief Merchandising Officer Sharon Tindall, and current CEO Melissa Reif, sat on the prior company board. The remaining 5 members have been on the board since the Container Store filed for an IPO in 2013-2014. It is interesting to look at the distribution of insights on the board. The 3 aforementioned board members, Kip and Sharon Tindall and Melissa Reif, all have deep insights into the company itself. 3 more board members, Timothy Flynn, J. Christopher Galashan, and John D. Sokoloff, are leadership figures at TCS's primary shareholder, LGP. Robert E. Jordan of Southwest Airlines, Danny Mayer of Union Square Hospitality Group, Walter Robb of Whole Foods, and Carol M. Stern of UNICEF all contribute to various aspects of business acumen. Finally, Raj Sisodia, longtime friend of prior CEO Kip Tindall, is the co-chairman of Conscious Capitalism. Conscious Capitalism may sound familiar from our prior discussion of company values, and Mr. Sisodia's vision contributes significantly to this heart company's value system. Now for the numbers. We'll take a look at some figures from the 2015 annual report and explain why these numbers ultimately point to trouble at the Container Store and an assessment that the company might not be as Iron Man strong as we'd like. The first comparison we'll make is revenue versus EBITDA. As we can see, TCS revenue has been steadily increasing over the past 3 years. However, EBITDA, which crucially takes into account costs, has not been consistent, and there has been a sharp decline from fiscal year ending February 2015 to fiscal year ending February 2016. We can also take a look at some ratios across 4 important business categories. Liquidity, the ability of the company to transform its assets into cash, has been declining, with the current ratio going from 1.32 to 1.26, and the quick ratio going from 0.61 to 0.52. Activity has remained relatively stable in terms of both inventory turnover and total asset turnover. Debt has been nominally declining from 73.75% to 72.89% expressed as a debt ratio. In both cases, this is a pretty high, potentially concerning degree of leverage. But finally, the key indicators of profitability demonstrate a negative trend. Most dramatically, return on assets down from 0.67% to, down from 2.95% to 0.67%, and earnings per share down to 11 cents from 47 cents. Finally, if we look at the Container Store's cash flows, we also see a decline. Operating cash flow, the amount of cash generated from the company's normal business operations, is diminishing. From fiscal year ending February 2015 to fiscal year ending February 2016, it declined 27%. Free cash flow, the cash flow figure accounting for capital expenditures, is also diminishing. From the fiscal year ending February 2015 to fiscal year ending February 2016, it declined 47%. Between the ratios we looked at on the previous slide and these cash flow figures, we've drawn the conclusion that although revenue at the Container Store is on the rise, the company is not on a profitable upswing.
Thanks, Tara. I will be discussing the competitors the Container Store faces and what the future opportunities are for the brand. As Meg explained earlier, the Container Store is the leading specialty retailer of storage and organization products in the United States. Like Tony Stark has had to ward off several villains, the Container Store has competitors including larger companies like Bed Bath & Beyond, Target, Lowe's, Home Depot, and IKEA. Lucky for the Container Store, they have several strengths to fight off the competition. Leah explained how the Container Store has 7 foundation principles that it uses to conduct business. For example, TCS believes that every 1 great person's productivity equals 3 good people. They invest in their employees by paying higher than industry average wages and by providing over 260 hours of training in the first year alone. They believe better pay and trained employees leads to a higher average ticket sale. The Container Store has over 86 stores, averaging 25,000 square feet in 28 states. In addition to their knowledgeable and dedicated employees that I just mentioned, they use a visual merchandising team to present their products in a unique and engaging atmosphere. They maintain a consistent store layout, which creates a familiar shopping experience across their store base. The stores are also clean and spacious, with strategically placed products to optimize selling space and increase productivity. Two main products the Container Store carries for closet solutions are Elfa and the TCS closets. Though at different price points, both options allow customers to design customized solutions for their closet in a number of ways. Customers can work with a trained associate in store, chat over the website, or by phone. TCS closets allow customers to schedule an appointment for in-home consultations. On the next slide, it will show growth opportunities. We believe that there are several growth opportunities that the Container Store should consider to continue to fight off competition. The Container Store should continue to invest and expand in their digital presence. Their website is a vital tool customers can use to see their vast product offerings and research closet solutions. Currently, the e-commerce sales increased by 1.7% in the third quarter of FY16. This is great. This is a great start, but we believe that this should be a focus point for the Container Store moving forward. In FY16, the Container Store opened 4 new stores in Texas, Nebraska, Iowa, and Pennsylvania. They plan to open locations in FY17 that include Ohio, New Mexico, New Jersey, and New York. The New Mexico store, which is targeted to open in July, will be their first mid-sized store format at approximately 18,000 square feet. While all departments will be represented, there is an edited assortment in selected departments, and custom closets will be given a larger portion of the store. This is the first of many test and learn initiatives to optimize their store size and layout to ensure greater efficiency and productivity. We believe that this is a good move on TCS's part, and if the data shows this model works, they should continue to utilize the mid-size store format. Over the last few years, the Container Store has partnered with several well-known brands to cross-market and introduce their brand to new customers. They have partnered with brands like Southwest, Whole Foods, Total Wine & More, and the Ellen DeGeneres Show. While they should be careful selecting the brands they partner with, if done correctly, we believe this is a great opportunity for them to expose their brand to new customers. On the next slide, we'll take a look at digital competition. In today's digital world, brick and mortar stores are facing increasing competition from online retailers like Amazon. In order to compete in the digital world, TCS needs to strategically invest in certain aspects of their business model, like enhancing their digital experience. We recommend they revamp their website to try and increase digital sales. Their current closet layout software is not as user-friendly as other brands like IKEA. They are currently offering incentives like free shipping and click and pick up, where customers purchase items online and pick up in the store. Click and pick up builds a bridge between the interaction of online and brick and mortar and helps increase sales. They could capitalize on this interaction to drive overall business by allowing customers to shop with them however they choose. The Container Store needs to continue to work to introduce new ideas and new products to excite customers and grow sales. With over 11,000 products in each store and online, over half the sales come from exclusive or proprietary products. The Container Store's Pop Star loyalty program includes special offers and event invitations. It aims to give their already loyal customers more incentive to come to the store more frequently. For the third quarter FY16, over 4.5 million people have signed up for the program. Data shows that the average customer comes into the store only 2.5 times a year. This program could help increase visits and sales. On the next slide, our recommendations show that they should increase their digital presence by revamping their website to be more user-friendly. They also should consider some cost control initiatives, like short-term reducing the number of SKUs and narrowing the focus to the higher-performing products and exclusive or proprietary products. In the long term, they should adapt a zero-based budgeting to review current spending and new investments. As I mentioned just a moment ago, while we recommend they reduce the number of SKUs, the Container Store needs to stay innovative while fulfilling customer needs. So they need to come up with new products and new ideas. If they take our recommendations and with all the heart that they have shown, we are confident that they will be able to be like Tony Stark and take on their numerous competitors.